And welcome back. Well, did you know that 10,000 baby boomers turn 65 every day? Yet nearly 3 out of 4 say that their understanding of Medicare is only fair or poor.
That's why UnitedHealthCare created National Medicare Education Week. And joining us now to discuss the importance of Medicare education and some of the events they have planned, one of them, an important one, is free, is the CEO of UnitedHealthCare and Retirement in Wisconsin. It's Chris Abbott. Great to see you.
Good morning, ladies. Good to be here.
Everybody would like to meet you at a cocktail party or bridge or a golf game or something because they'd want to say, I don't get Medicare. So let's talk about this Education Week and what it's all about.
Well, National Medicare Education Week is an official week focused on helping people who are Medicare eligibles, family members, caregivers, boomers in particular, on learning more about Medicare. We're particularly pleased this year. Mayor Barrett has even declared it Milwaukee Medicare Education Week. And with hundreds of thousands of Medicare eligible people here in the area, it's really important.
Okay, so when does it take place?
Well, it starts September 15th, runs for a week, but the timing is really important to point out because September 15th just happens to be 1 month before the Medicare open enrollment period starts. Right. And that's when everyone who's on Medicare has an opportunity to select a program. We really want to make sure consumers are shopping smart. Things change in their life, the plans change a little bit year to year. We want to make sure they're on the best plan for 2016, and that starts now with making sure they really understand how Medicare works really well.
Well, I think it's important that you're doing this Education Week because according to your own survey by UnitedHealthCare, more than 1 in 5 beneficiaries say Medicare is confusing. I get that. And 70% of people approaching Medicare eligibility say they have a fair, or as we mentioned, a poor understanding of the program.
Right. It's true. It's an enormous challenge. As we were talking about, health insurance is inherently confusing. And as people turn 65, this is such an enormous decision that they have to make. Their finance, their health, they want to make sure they get the right one. It's not quite as confusing as people think. And part of our goal is to help people understand what all those parts mean and why they need to make a decision. One of the biggest things I run into is people go, oh, I'm not going to worry about it, it's automatic, it's just going to happen. That may not be the best decision for them. So they need to be engaged. They have some questions they should be asking themselves so they get the plan that works best for them. And that starts then with a basic understanding of Medicare.
So how do you get seniors and those who are on Medicare and the baby boomers to understand Medicare better? How can they participate in the whole week of Medicare?
So next week we're having kind of our signature event next Thursday. It's at Wilson Park Senior Center. Starts at 3 o'clock. It's going to have kind of 2 parts. First is there's going to be a resource fair. So we're going to have an example, our friends from Silver Sneakers, our fitness club membership. So current today with what you're talking about. We're going to have Walgreens is there with a pharmacist, Wheaton Franciscan. The Milwaukee County Aging and Disability Resource Center folks are going to be there, senior law. So it's not just your health insurance, it's a larger setting that you have. Now, if you can't attend next week, MedicareMadeClear.com is our signature online website. We've got classes literally on Medicare, short snippets, however you want to learn about Medicare, it's there. It's in fact won some awards because it's actually helping provide clarity, something in a little short supply in the Medicare world.
Well, and a lot of people said, what was it, 97% of people said after they left your seminar last year that they understood Medicare and it was clearer after attending this event.
That was gratifying because I present personally, and I want to hopefully, you know, part of my promise to the audience is I stay till all the questions are answered.
Really?
So, absolutely. One of the things that people think initially is Medicare is one size fits all, and it isn't. So, for example, if you're turning 65 and you're still working, or if you're under 65, you're on Medicare because you're disabled. If you travel a lot once you retire, all of those things are going to drive different decisions on what kind of Medicare you get.
Well, and it's like alphabet soup, I think, in a little bit. And everything we hear is Part A, Part B, you know, there's Part D, prescription plans. How do you break it down in a way that's simple for people?
Well, I think there's one quick piece to start with. First off is there are generally 2 ways of getting your Medicare. The first one is the traditional method where you would have Medicare Part A and Part B. Most people get that automatically when they turn 65. They're not paying a premium for Part A, but they're typically paying a significant premium for Part B. But there are still some holes with traditional Part A and Part B. So people look at getting a Medicare supplement to fill in those holes. That's why it's called Medigap coverage. But you also need to have prescription drug coverage because A and B doesn't have drugs. The other way of getting your Medicare then is to get all of that together, A and B, medications, financial protection together. This is what Medicare Part C plans are, which are typically called Medicare Advantage.
Okay, so all this still is probably confusing to a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, even at this point, right? So do you compare different options for people? Is that something that you do?
Yes, we do. We make sure that people understand, again, what the alignment is. And one of the most important things, again, this is why we're starting a month before open enrollment period, is everyone has an opportunity to sit down with an expert. And typically that is a licensed certified agent. We actually have 1,000 here in the Wisconsin marketplace. Sit down and go over this. I'll use the example. My own father, he doesn't live here in the Milwaukee area, but last year his former employer stopped the coverage they had. So he had to make some new decisions. So we stepped through what things are important. He lives in Louisville, Kentucky, but he wanted to be able to go to the Cleveland Clinic because he's from Cleveland. So we needed to make sure he had a plan that provided what we would call portability. So it's not just good in Louisville, Kentucky. He can take it if he goes to Cleveland. So those are the nuances that it's important to have someone who's well-trained sit down, kitchen table, go over this with you.
I think
wonderful.
It's important.
And I think it's great that you're doing this event for free too, so that people can understand better, because there is a lot of confusion out there. You're acknowledging that, but you're also doing something about it, which is wonderful. A week from today, on Thursday, September 17th at 3 p.m., there is this education, free National Medicare Education event. It's happening at the Wilson Park Senior Center, as you mentioned. They would like you to RSVP. Here's the phone number to call. It's toll free, 1-800-379-1208, or you can go to MedicareMadeClear.com.
Thanks
Great
so much.
to meet you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.